sure that I'm live, local, and late breaking on you. And I am one. I love live radio. You expect to get live radio. That's what you always should want. Local and live, always. So I came in to give you 15 minutes. I didn't stay at home. I mean, hell, we could have probably done this from the damn phone. You know what? No, we're going to be live. We're going to be local. We're going to be late breaking in studio. And I've got 15 minutes to lead up to Pacer pregame. So you got that going for you. I got that going. And we're going to get you to some Pacer Wizard action this afternoon. I'll be honest with you. It's been fun so far. I don't know if a lot of you, I don't know how many of you are really enjoying all this to the extent in which you could be, because maybe I'm not going to watch another moment and I'm done with these guys. This is dead to me, blah, whatever. I stinking love basketball, and this has been great. Saturday was great. I had one eye on it while I was doing the hashtag JMV takeover. And the best part about Saturday was, as TJ Warren was going for one of the smoothest, in honor of Yacht Rock, one of the smoothest 53-point performances that we have ever seen. In one of the great single game Pacer performances it was. How long has it been since you have seen a performance like that? So smooth. I mean, it was great. And as that was going on Saturday, and I'm doing my thing with the music, the JMV takeover, right? And you guys are all listening and then watching and doing what you do. We were getting requests in honor of TJ Warren's performance, and it was so great. It was. Saturday was fun. That was a fun game to watch. Even if the guy I support got 9 points and 100,000 fouls, they won. You beat that team that you're trying to maintain that distance between yourself and the Sixers so you can get that 4-5 matchup. And you see what you can do against a team that you should beat, even without Victor Oladipo later on today, and that's the Washington Wizards. Thomas Bryant went for 30, I think, yesterday. The Wizards are on the second of a back-to-back. Victor Oladipo is not going to play. He's not playing in back-to-backs. The Pacers, of course, play tomorrow late afternoon, early evening against the Orlando Magic, and they have issues with Jonathan Isaac being done for the season with that torn ACL. But the Pacers tonight, I should say this afternoon, which is awesome to say regarding the NBA and being on the air, by the way. With everything that's going on, we got NHL going on, we got NBA happening, Major League Baseball still going on. I don't know how curmudgeon you might have to be to say, I think this all sucks, and it doesn't matter, I'm not watching these guys ever again. This is fun as hell. It is fun as Saturday was one of the best days I've ever had being on the air during live action. Remember how we all love it? We all love it. Live action in the morning, late morning, midday, like when the Olympics are going on, right? The Olympics are going on, and you're getting something at 5, 6 in the morning or something in the middle of the afternoon. This is fun. But the Pacers looked really good on Saturday. You know, obviously the 5-3 put up on the board by TJ Warren saved them. But they looked really good. They could have gone away late when they got down 10 in the fourth, but they came storming back. A lot of people want to argue that Brett Brown probably wouldn't get a Coach of the Year nod by the way he handled things in the fourth for the Sixers. But never mind. When you survive, 41 from Embiid, 30-something, I think, for Tobias Harris, maybe it was 30 even. And then Ben Simmons, who just got lit up and torched on defense by TJ Warren. He had somewhere in the neighborhood of 25. And if you're going to tell me, without Brogdon, without Sabonis, that this Pacer team was going to get in the neighborhood of 130, which if you've watched these NBA games so far, I mean, you've got to bring the offense with you. Because for the most part, not all, but for the most part, these games are playing into the 120s, around 125. You have got to bring the offense, because the offense most of the time so far has looked a hell of a lot better than the defense. And if you would have told me before that game on Saturday that the Pacers would put up those kind of numbers offensively, what's up, Todd? I would have said, you got to be crazy. Look, really? No Sabonis, no Brogdon, which surprised everybody. But it was great. It really was. And I got to give a shout out. I knew all the time, right? I got to give a shout out to my mom. So here's what happened. So I'm on Saturday night, I'm like rolling with the hashtag JMV takeover. I'm by myself. Chris Woldridge was not in the room. And as Kyle can attest to, he jumped in here before he started running the Pacer pregame show. And I was just an absolute mess down the hall. I mean, all lines are ringing, 6 lines are ringing. And I'm here. I can't do anything technology-wise. And then my mom calls right in the middle of this and goes, hey, my power's out. And my mom is just simply put one of the biggest Pacer fans around anywhere. Power's out. And I go, oh, man, what happened? I don't know. I think a tree fell on a line, and she's cussing, and she shouldn't have been cussing Greene County REMC or whatever because it was a tree across the line. And I said, hey, you're just going to have to go out in the truck and listen to it. So my advice was go out in the truck and listen. She spent the entire game Saturday night in the driveway of where I grew up in the truck listening to the Pacers and that win. And I'm on my way home, and she's calling about the 53 that Warren put up. It made me feel good. It really did. I hated my advice. I didn't know what else to tell her. I said, you want to make sure you may just want to utilize that truck radio and go out and send. She sat inside the truck in the driveway for the entirety. I think her power came back on around 11 o'clock or so. So shout out to my mom, who is a major Pacers fan, was as excited as I was and others about the return of basketball, sat in the truck on Saturday night and listen to that first of 8 regular season ending game win over the Philadelphia 76ers. That was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, starting lineup today, Malcolm Brogdon is back in. Had that sore neck. My mom's advice was somebody needs to get him a contour pillow. Maybe that happened. I don't know. But he's back in. 2 Holidays. I thought Aaron Holiday played really well on Saturday. He played really well when Neto was in there. That was the survival point, I thought, for the Pacers on Saturday, because a lot of Philadelphia 76ers fans felt that Brett Brown stayed with the backup point guard way, way too long, and they don't like Shake Milton at point. They want to see Ben Simmons back at point, but that's neither here nor there. But I thought that Aaron Holiday gave them a really good stretch in the fourth, when it felt as if that they were losing touch just a little bit. A really good stretch in the fourth. They had contributions all the way around. And really, when you think about it, I don't think Justin Holiday had that great of a game. Miles was in foul trouble basically as soon as he walked onto the floor. And was just getting worked. And, you didn't have Brogdon. You didn't have Sabonis. But, man, TJ Warren brought back a lot of the Reggie Miller moments that you remember. It's been a long time, hasn't it, since somebody put up a jump shot and you thought more so than not that it was going to go down? That's what you were feeling. I was watching it again yesterday on NBA TV because Chris Denari pointed that out on Twitter yesterday, and I was watching it again. And I had that feeling on Saturday night while I was doing the JMV takeover, and I felt the same way in watching it. I mean, obviously you have an end result already. You know what took place. You know what happened. But every time he got it, you felt as if when he was putting it up, it was going down. Even that last 3. I mean, the deep dagger 3, which was glorious. We haven't had too many of those feelings since the end of the Reggie Miller era. I mean, there have been some good players here. Don't get me wrong. Been good players. But I don't know how many moments you had where you just thought when somebody was putting it up on a particular night that it was absolutely positively going down. And that's what you felt regarding TJ Warren. TJ Warren came here by virtue of cash considerations, and everybody was all over that, all about that. And as you guys now, I think, are firmly recognizing, a little TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell helped. It was a great all-around effort on Saturday. And that was a game they really needed. And now what you can't do is you can't stub your toe. You can't stub your toe this afternoon against the Washington team that you should beat. Can't stub your toe tomorrow, the second of a back-to-back against an Orlando Magic team that's now going to be down a man because of Jonathan Isaac, and he's done for the season with that torn ACL, which is incredibly unfortunate for that dude. But you can't stub your toe in situations like that. You just can't. But I thought that was fun. This entire month so far, outside of MLB trying to, balance how you're going to deal with, the positive test that we got, the 17+ with the Miami Marlins, and then the ultimate shutdown of teams, Philadelphia and their clubhouse, Philadelphia not playing, and then the Cardinals and the Brewers because of a couple of Cardinal pitchers. Outside of that, it's been entertaining. I didn't mind the 7-inning games yesterday. I know Trevor Bauer didn't mind the 7-inning games yesterday. That's funny. I mean, you look back on it. I hope that David Bell maybe learned a little something. Just go ahead and let Bauer go. He did that yanking stuff again in game number 1 yesterday and almost cost him. But the Reds, sweep a double dip. Cubs, if you're a Cubs fan, they're starting out really well. Man, there is just so much going on. It's really hard to keep track of. I mean, it really is. But anyway, you got Pacer Hoopage coming up a little bit later on. Actually, bottom of the hour right here for you. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan. Quick shout-out to Friday Show. Friday Show was awesome. Sean Collinsworth over off of Geist on the northeast side was an absolute great time. A great time. We had a lot of friends out there. Dave Smiley of the Smiley Morning Show over on ZPL was out there. We did a little game before I left at the end, music trivia, and I am stinking dominant, man. I am dominant, and they know it. Dominant. But it was a great time. Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 3 is coming up later on this month, and my advice to you is to sign up right now, 1075thefan.com, and take off and run with it. Because we would love to come to your backyard. You got one more chance this month of August, and you can sign up right now, 1075thefan.com. And again, a shout-out to Heaven Hill Distillery and Brent Halverson, who was out there. Connecticut Water, Nick was out there. A great deal with our great hydration from Connecticut. Fat Tire Beer and Ryan Stoltz, thank you. And Richard brought all the food. The food was incredible on Friday from Ford's Garage. It was awesome. So shout out to everybody and sign up for the final Backyard Bourbon broadcast of 2020. 1075thefan.com. RD writes this, hey, sports guy, you should mention the Red Hot Orioles with a huge sweep this weekend. I should have dropped that in, man. That's my bad. I'm sorry about that. My bad already. JMV, I honestly don't think Brogdon being hurt and not playing surprised anybody. Yeah, I don't think it does. I mean, after 8 times, I don't think you're going to get surprised at all. I think you're probably more surprised that he's playing today than you were that if he's not. That's kind of the deal. And Colts camp, and I guess what this basically comes down to is the Colts just trying to get into shape. A little conditioning stuff going on. No positive tests. At least from what I have heard recently since I sat down here. And nobody opting out. Yeah, it was weird. The Cespedes thing with the Mets and that opt-out, where you couldn't find him yesterday, they didn't know, is really weird. And a lot more we'll get into in this game coming up on tomorrow's show. The Pac-12 opt-outs with the football players is something else we'll dive into. And maybe we haven't had a Big Ten schedule plan as of yet. Maybe Adam Rittenberg at some point tomorrow to see where the Big Ten may or may not be going. So we got a lot for you coming up tomorrow. Telling you, this is about the best 15 minutes I can give you right here. And get you ready for a little afternoon Pacer hoopage, which is awesome. Kyle, anything you want to add while we're here, too? And if you're on YouTube Live, I'm here. So you guys can tell I did come in for the 15 minutes.
So when you were doing the B105, the JMV takeover on Saturday, and you're watching TJ Warren, how many requests do you think you got about something to do with TJ Warren and his 53 points?
Disco Inferno. When he knocked in that deep three, Disco Inferno was the next song that was requested. So, because Fire, Inferno.
Yeah.
And it was great. That was a Skids Medi Mix. But it was great. I mean, everybody was calling in and going, man, you watching TJ Ward? Shout out to TJ Ward. And anything that had to do with Fire, the Ohio players, anything with heat of the moment, Asia, the heat is on, Glenn Fry. That's what makes it special. That's why all this can mix up on a Saturday like that. You guys are listening. You guys are watching while you're listening. I got a great tweet because J Law and friends up in Westfield listen every Saturday night, and apparently, maybe I'm going to be the subject of the main character, the dude, the hero in a romance novel, right? Because one of our listeners is, I guess, an author of romance novel. Is there anything that looks more romance novel-like than me? No, I don't think there is. So I think that's a hell of an idea out of something. If you're going out to buy a romance novel and you get me shirtless on the cover, I think everybody's down with that program. That's a bestseller. Easily. But no, it was a great night. Really was. All right. Pacers and the Washington Wizards. Once again, no Victor Oladipo. It's rest. He's not doing back-to-back, so he's playing tomorrow against Orlando, not this afternoon versus the Washington Wizards. You have a couple of holidays in the lineup. You've got Malcolm Brogdon back with the stiff or the sore neck or whatever's going on with that. And, of course, you got one, Miles Turner and T.J. Warren, who was the star of stars for cash considerations. That's the type of deal that you need and you love to see somebody get over on right there. That's what the Suns got, cash considerations. I don't even know what was considered. Do we know what cash was considered? The level of cash, the amount of cash?
I don't think that was ever known, but we also got the second-round pick.
Man. T.J. Warren. That was one for the ages for me. BT says, I gave you a great 15 minutes. That's what Christy said. Hey, Christy would be happy with that. I'd get like the all-star treatment for 15. I'd be sleeping. All right, you guys have been awesome. Again, we'll continue the conversation at JMV 1070, but I came in studio to give you the greatest 15 minutes of sports radio conversation that this town has ever heard right here. Oh, yeah, we'll get into the faux Peyton Manning stuff overnight, too. About Andrew Luck and, yeah. Tomorrow's show. Up next, Pacer pregame. Pacers, Washington Wizards, Game 2 beneath the bubble in Orlando. See what T.J. Warren can do backing up that 53 of Saturday night. Kyle, great job, man. Thank you for listening. Pacer pregame coverage next. 93.5, 107.5, 1070 The Fan.
This is the Colts Review on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.